want it to be live, yep.
Yeah. It's under here, right? We're going live, just so you know.
This one right here.
Oh, not that one?
Yeah, you have to stream to YouTube though. How do you
I
go
don't
live
do that.
usually?
I do live.
Pass that
this
down,
button,
just
and
pass
then
that
record.
down.
So that's probably why it has.
Channel 27?
I don't know,
Cause that's not
I
hooked
don't
up.
watch it.
So this as far as I'm aware does nothing down there.
Okay, nobody ever told me that. The first training I went through, I was told that I had to be pressed
What was that?
years ago.
Okay, since
Okay.
I've started, that has done nothing.
All right, so record, stream.
Yep, and you have to be signed in to YouTube if you wanna stream. If not, then we don't need to stream.
I thought you guys downloaded it.
Good idea, we shut this off.
We do, so you don't have to stream to YouTube.
Perfect, okay. So
So
I just.
you don't have to hit stream, you just have to hit
The
record.
record is already done,
Yep.
or going. This still has to be on.
Yep, yeah, cause this is your microphones and your cameras,
Perfect.
so you should
So
be,
that, on, push record,
yep.
and then
And
it'll
it'll
flash
blink,
green.
it'll blink green, and then when you hit, you have to hit record again before you turn this off.
Yep, it'll flash red.
It'll go amber, and then it'll go solid green, and you're good.
Oh, solid green, okay, perfect, thank you.
Not a problem.
We good?
And in just a moment, I'm
Okay.
getting this all going.
And now being 2:00, we can call the Laconia Police Commission meeting of March 26, 2024 to order. Present are Recording Secretary Lori Marsh, Chief Canfield, and Commissioners Whittam, Mello, and Davis. Would you please rise for the salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on to personnel matters. Commendations and awards.
Nothing?
Resignations and retirement, Chief Canfield.
Nothing?
Promotions and classification changes, Chief Canfield.
Nothing?
Command staff reports, the support division, Chief Canfield.
So they've been doing a lot of regular quarterly grant reporting. We recently were awarded a Homeland Security grant in the amount of $15,000, which was appropriated for the purchase of heavy tactical vests for our participation in the regional SWAT team. That was just recently accepted by City Council. We're currently in the process of applying for a grant for a storage facility. As you recall, we've asked for this through CIP, and we've also applied for several other grants in the past, but this facility would store a lot of our equipment that is stored outside, a lot of expensive equipment, including our camera trailers, our signboards, and other equipment that is expensive equipment that sits out in the elements of the weather. So we're applying for a grant from the federal government through Congressman or Congresswoman Custer, as well as Congressman Pappas's office. We recently were awarded, as of yesterday, a grant from Congressman Pappas's office in the amount of $77,000. This will go to fund equipment, a laser scanner, as well as some other 3D mapping software for the regional accident investigation team that we head up. We're currently in the process of, well, they'll be transitioning into the new TASER version and undergoing instructor training by Axon this month, and then the department will be trained on the conversion. And our firearms, spring firearms training has been scheduled for the month of May.
Is the $14,000 that for the SWAT part, is that like our share? Do the other towns do the same, or they just take care of their own?
They don't, we tend to take up some of the grant writing capabilities from that because we have the resources to do it. It's a non-matching grant, but it does go as a regional asset.
Yeah, okay.
Chief, what's the difference between the old tasers and the new tasers?
These have multiple darts or the ability to fire multiple projectiles versus the other ones. You had basically one or two cartridges and that was it.
Yeah.
As you know, technology changes every few years. Our body cameras change out every 2.5 years. So with the new contract with Taser, they're replacing our tasers themselves.
Operations Division, Chief Canfield?
The summer bid is out for, or summer schedule has already been bid and has been posted. Their motorcycle week schedule is in the process of being bid out. They recently went to a very traumatic event call, which I really can't get into the details of right here, but it was regarding a suicidal subject. A number of officers were involved. They did a phenomenal job. I reviewed the body camera footage from all of those involved, and I was very proud of the way they handled the incident from start to finish. We got some accolades from the hospital where the patient was treated, and I was very happy with the way it went. And they were also offered to participate in an after-action debrief with critical incident stress debrief team in conjunction with the fire department and the hospital. And we will be participating, a number of our officers will be participating in the Winnie Dip at the Margate.
When is that?
That is Saturday at 10 a.m.
This Saturday?
Yes.
Not going.
Not going.
Just curious.
Anything on the hirings, Chief?
Nothing other than John Howe will be returning next week. As you recall, he retired to work on his family farm. He'll be returning in a part-time capacity, which will assist in the detective unit, covering some of the shortages there. And then the end of the month, I anticipate that Dennis Ashley, who is our evidence tech, who has been on the last 7 years doing our evidence room, after he retired, he's looking to retire, and John Howe will be taking over those duties as well in a part-time capacity. So it'll be a nice transition. In addition to that, under CALIA, our accreditation, there has to be a full audit of the evidence room, so that will be taking place during that transition period. John will be brought up to speed on some of the duties as a lead evidence tech before Dennis leaves. So that was a nice retention.
Moving on to acceptance of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as written.
Commissioner Mello, Commissioner Davis?
Second?
A motion made by Commissioner Mello, seconded by Commissioner Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. The meeting minutes of November 15th were 2023 were accepted as distributed. Review of monthly activity reports. Department monthly highlights. Chief Canfield.
For the month of January, we responded 1,903 calls for service, which was up about 8.94%. Conducted 81 park walk and talks, 300 extra patrols, 22 community policing events. We investigated 256 criminal offenses, cleared 145 of those by arrests, of which 82 were physical custody arrests. We took 7 people into custody for intoxication, responded to a total of 20 domestic disturbance calls, 57 other disturbances, 6 suicidal subjects, and investigated 9 violation restraining orders. LPD volunteers LPD employees volunteered 8 hours of their time, and Victim Services Unit volunteered 8 hours of their time over the course of the month.
Questions? Moving on, criminal investigative unit statistics. Chief Canfield.
For the month of January, they were assigned 6 new cases, conducted 24 follow-ups on other cases, made 3 felony arrests, initiated 1 misdemeanor charge, conducted 8 search warrants or arrest warrants, conducted 21 sex offender registrations, investigated 2 computer-related cyber tips, conducted 2 background investigations, 3 field interviews, 12 drug intel sheets. They covered 10 hours of patrol time, conducted 3 polygraph exams, and conducted 239 hours of training time, and they did 72 body-worn redactions.
These, sex offenders registers, they go up and down.
They do. I mean, you know, sometimes they move in and out of Laconia. Sometimes they move around. So that's why the numbers fluctuate. But they are required to register on a regular basis.
But they go somewhere else to report in?
Yeah, they either go to other communities or other people come to our community.
Budget printouts, Chief Canfield.
The budget is looking on track. We are under budget. We are 63.46% of the way through the budget year, and we are at 58.78% spent. That doesn't include some of the outside contracted services that are still to be paid for the year, but we are on par with our budget.
Questions? Moving on, monthly traffic statistics, Chief Canfield.
For the month of January, we issued 42 parking tickets, investigated a total of 44 motor vehicle accidents, 8 of which were with personal injury. Number 1 cause was on the roadway. Number 1 location was on Union Avenue. And for the month, we stopped 481 motor vehicles and issued 410 written warnings and 19 motor vehicle summonses.
Union Avenue seems to appear on the, every
It does.
month.
Union Ave or Court Street. I mean, they're kind of 2 of the big thoroughways through
Yep.
Laconia, and certainly some of the highest traffic counts, so.
Questions? Moving on to monthly fleet report, Chief Canfield.
I have nothing unless you have any questions.
Questions? Okay, correspondence to and from the department, Chief Canfield.
We received several nice thank you letters. One was for helping with the family with the fire. The family was displaced for a number of months. Congratulating the officers that helped them. Received a nice thank you from Leadership Lakes Region. We participate in this program every year and help them with their leadership program by allowing them to do ride-alongs. So we conducted approximately 30 ride-alongs with our department to learn about the city and learn about our community. We received several other nice thank you letters. And then we received a very nice email, or I received a very nice email from a parent at this, the high school, congratulating Tyler Rouse, the school resource officer that works there, on his outstanding performance as a school resource officer, as well as participation in the after-school football program as a coach. So, you know, Tyler is very committed over there and in the work that he does, and it was a nice email to receive congratulating that, and a parent that took the time to write an email, and it's a pretty lengthy email explaining their appreciation for him. So that was some nice accolades for Tyler.
Get in contact with the woman to tell you what kind of cupcakes you wanted and stuff, and for the cookies?
I did not.
I think that letter from Don Morrissey, well, the Lakes Region, the Leadership Lakes Region was pretty insightful.
Yeah. that was-
Speaks real highly about the department and the quality of the offices.
Yeah, very much so.
You know. It would be nice if you could get that into the paper. I mean, it's just accolades for the department right there.
Yeah, some of it we'd have to research as far as their
Yep.
anonymity,
Yep.
Sending it, but yeah, we can certainly look into that.
Moving forward, chief's report.
So the first arriving technology that is throughout the building, on video screens, for current messaging and situational awareness. We're completing the test phase of that. It's up and running. This program replaced a prior program that was antiquated, to say the least. This program is much more up to date, so we look forward to getting that fully implemented. We continue to work on the full implementation of the Imprivata multi-factor authentication security software. This project, once implemented, is going to be phenomenal as far as providing for computer security and streamlining the process, so the officers don't have to have 10 different passwords to get into different programs. It'll make it single sign-on. We've had a little difficulty in working with our computer system and getting it implemented, but the company just came out with a patch, so we're hopeful that that is going to be successful and be fully implemented by June. As part of the IACP Terrorism Committee, we completed, the working group I've been assigned to, we completed a white paper on the extremist use of online gaming platforms. This subgroup works on a number of different topics, but this one was of importance, and that is a complete document, which will hopefully be posted to the IACP website. We conducted an active shooter assessment at the New Hampshire Unemployment Office, worked with their staff as far as hardening the building. This was prompted by the shooting that happened at the New Hampshire Hospital, and then this was followed up by another presentation by Detective Sergeant Ben Black. So we hopefully have them in a better place security-wise. I attended the public forum on hate and anti-Semitism conducted by the Human Relations Committee, which was a very well-attended event. I gave you a copy of the city goal setting that I sat in as with members of the city council. These were goal setting conducted by Primex for the next session of the city council, developing all kinds of goals throughout the city. Certainly all department heads had input into that. I just want to point out one thing for you in the report. And that was on goal number 1, offer support to the state school property development, educate developers on tax incentives to encourage low-income and workforce housing, and implement a community police and a homeless outreach officer. So this kind of leads into a longer-term goal, which I'll talk about in the future, but certainly paves the way for creating an officer to deal specifically with the homeless population, as well as all of our community partners in working to maybe make that process a little bit better, as well as some of the issues caused by it. So that became one of the documented goals in the city, goal setting by the city council. As you recall, a number of years ago, I was appointed to the governor's task force on New Hampshire school safety. They are reinvigorating that task force, and they're looking to have regular meetings to make further recommendations on school safety. So certainly something that can be brought back to our schools here in Laconia, and we can benefit from it as a city. The COSAP grant that funds Detective Eric Adams's position has been extended through September of 2025, which is great news, so we'll keep that program alive for another 18 months. We also received a nice donation from the Grace C. Smith Trust. This woman lived on Guilford Avenue, and she, unbeknownst to us, we had no idea until the executor of the estate came forward and said that she had left $150,000 in her estate for use by the Laconia Police Department. In her will, she specifically designated it to help and benefit children and families So it's very strict as far as what it can be used for. But it's a very nice donation by a community member who thought highly of the police department to do that. She also left the same amount of money to the fire department to help offset the cost of people that have insurance but can't pay the copay for ambulance rides.
Oh, neat.
So it was a very nice donation. This will be accepted. This has undergone the first reading by city council, and it, I believe Monday night will be the second reading for acceptance, formal acceptance of those funds. Been working very closely with the city manager on our budget. That in combination with, as I'm sure you know, the finance committee regarding the pay inequity between Laconia police officers and a lot of neighboring agencies and other agencies within the state. So I know the city council is working very, very diligently on that. Spider Tech for the month of January 2024. This is the messaging software. When someone calls the police department, it makes us a little bit more responsive, so we'll send a text message. If there's a delay in police officer response time, we'll also send a text message with a satisfaction survey at the end of it. So for the month of January 2024, we sent a total of 1,300 messages. It was down by 9.2% for the month before. Not concerned about that, still higher than the average, and certainly dependent on call volume. The completion rate for the surveys was at 24.5%, which was up 1.1%. That's a pretty significant number to get a 24% completion rate on any survey. So we're very pleased with that. In speaking with Spider Tech Company, that is much higher than many of the agencies that they service. So that's nice to have that feedback. And 2024 overdose statistics, we're at 5 overdoses year to date. And finally, year to date line of duty deaths are at 18 across the nation.
Question on the overdose piece. Does the police department respond to the overdoses as well as the fire department?
For the most part, yes.
Are you finding more individuals with Narcan in their possession?
Absolutely. We see, it's available in pharmacies. It's given away. I think part of the reason why we've seen our drop in overdoses over the last couple of years is the availability of Narcan. And I know for a fact that there are a number of instances where their friends will administer Narcan to them and revive them, and they won't call for emergency services, so we don't even know about it. So that's part of the reason in those drops. The other part is we see a lot more meth use, which you don't have the overdose effects from it like you do with heroin. So certainly the illegal drugs are not gone. It's just a changing trend moving more towards meth.
Any questions? Moving on. Old business,
I have nothing.
new business,
Nothing.
other business,
Nothing.
citizen comments. Good afternoon. Hearing none, we go to confirmation of the next meeting date.
Wrong one there. Confirmation would be March 27th,
27th.
27th,
right? We changed it to March 27th at 2.
Right, because this
change the
meeting was
20th
pushed.
to the 27th.
2 o'clock, you said, right, still?
Yeah.
3 p.m. 2
Two.
on the 27th.
2 on the 27th.
2 on the 27th. Okay. Is there a need for non-public, chief?
There is.
There is.
Do you know which part of this?
I'll take a motion to go into non-public.
I'll make a motion, but do you know which part of this is?
Chief, the reason for non-public?
It would be under the compensation section.
Okay, compensation.
So I'll make a motion under RSA 91-A:3, Section 2A, for the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee, or the disciplining of such employee, or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, one, has the right to a public meeting, And 2, request the meeting be open, in which case requests shall be granted.
Is there a second?
Second.
On a motion made by Commissioner Davis, was seconded by Commissioner Mello. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously in accordance with RSA 91A3, 2A. The Laconia Police Commission entered into non-public session at 2:24 PM.
Roll call it.
Pardon me?
Did you do a roll call already? Okay.
All roll call to enter non-public, Commissioner Mello?
Yeah.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Yes, and Commissioner Woodham, yes. Thank you.